Hi guys, welcome to the Brainy Buzz channel. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. 15 things that you've been doing wrong your whole life. So make sure to watch the full video. We love to think that we know everything, but time and time again, we're proven wrong. As it turns out, we've been working out wrong. We're complimenting people incorrectly, and we should really know our blood type. Even so, we're always ready to learn something new. We reached out to a few experts to learn about some other things that the typical person does incorrectly, despite their best efforts. The results were fairly surprising. For instance, you might not know that you're doing something wrong when you're 1. Taking a shower. There's nothing better than enjoying a long hot shower, right? In the middle of the winter, a hot shower can mean the difference between a bad morning and a semi-tolerable one. There's just one problem. 2. Playing Monopoly. Here's the thing about Monopoly. It's a terrible game. That's not our opinion. It's a fact. The game was originally created to show kids the futility of capitalistic systems. Elizabeth Medee created an early version of Monopoly called the Landlord's Game in 1903, 3 decades before the Parker brothers produced their version. She offered 2 sets of rules, one that rewarded all players for generating wealth together, and an anti-monopolist rule set that was intentionally dull for everyone but the game's inevitable winner. Oddly enough, the second version was the one that caught on, and many of Medee's rules made it to the world-famous board game. 3. Charging your phone. Turns out you might have some poor phone charging habits, but they aren't what you think. Check out the video below to learn how to extend the life of your phone and keep it from overheating. 4. Trimming your fingernails. You might have noticed that your nail clippers have a subtle curve, as if they're designed for single-snip action. That may have been the intent, but it actually takes 3 or 4 clips across the length of the average fingernail to tidy up those hands, reports GQ. Whatever you do, don't just cram your nail into the clipper head-on and start snipping. 5. Holding the steering wheel. When you first learned to drive, you probably learned the 10 and 2 rule. Your hand should stay at 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock on the steering wheel. This is meant to give you optimum control over your vehicle if you need to suddenly avoid an obstacle. That is, apparently, completely wrong. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration now recommends positioning of 9 and 3, which should help to keep the driver's hands out of the way of the airbags in the event of an accident. 6. Scrambling eggs. What's so tough about scrambling eggs? You crack a few into a hot, oily pan, whisk, and it's time for breakfast, right? Not so fast, say the experts at Bon Appetit magazine. Like, literally, not so fast. The magazine's digital food editor, Dawn Perry, told a reporter that a good scramble takes a minute. That's because you want to scramble your eggs over medium-low heat. That quick sizzle will just dry out your eggs. The trick is to whisk the eggs together in a separate bowl. Drop a dollop of butter into a nonstick pan and cook those eggs over medium-low heat while stirring them until they begin to solidify. Oh, and take them off the burner just before they start to look done. They'll continue to cook until they cool down a bit. 7. Using cotton swabs in your ears. What could be simpler than using cotton swabs to clear out your ears? Well, it's on this list, so you probably know what's coming. Cotton swabs can damage your hearing. In fact, there's really no reason to be cleaning out earwax from your inner ears in the first place. Number 1, you would like to have some wax in your ears. Otologist or neurotologist Jennifer Smolin-Torino, MD, told Boston's NPR station WBUR, "The ear canal makes wax for a purpose. The wax in your ear waterproofs the ear canal and keeps water from going in and getting stuck, sort of like wax on your car. If you clean your ear with a Q-tip that strips the wax and lets the water stay in." 8. Sitting at your computer. The problem here isn't what you're doing. It's that you're not doing much of anything else. Even if you exercise after you get home, you're probably not completely reversing the effects of a day spent in a chair. If you don't exercise, you might be heading for a catastrophic injury. You work with poor posture, then the average American watches 6 hours of TV with poor posture. you're a disaster waiting to happen. Scott Botch, chiropractor and president of the American Chiropractic Association's Council on Occupational Health, told Fashion Beans, "If I do that, eventually I'm going to do something I do every day, and a catastrophe will happen because of the sedentary activities that take place every day." 9. Chewing too much gum. We all know a diet high in sugar feeds gut bacteria. Well, it's the same for bacteria in your mouth. If you jump for chewing gum to help your bad breath regularly, you could be doing yourself more damage than good. Dr. Harold Katz, known as the bad breath guru of Beverly Hills, explains, ultimately, all the gum and mints in the world will not stop chronic halitosis, bad breath, and is not a replacement for a robust oral hygiene regimen. 10. Sleeping on your stomach. Everyone has their favorite sleeping position, but as chiropractor Andrew Green explains, one stands out from the rest for all the wrong reasons. There is one sleeping position, on your stomach, that should be avoided at all costs, he says. If you sleep like this, you are twisting your spine severely as your head will be turned to one side, and usually you will have one hip hitched up. This position adversely affects both blood and nerve flow. 11. Doing sit-ups for abs. Personal trainer Faye Pritchard explains, sit-ups have been around for years, and they've been hardwired into our subconscious as the exercise we need to do when we want toned abs. Nowadays, there is a lot more research into fitness and the exercises that are most effective for targeting certain areas. The truth is that the best exercises to develop abs are actually the plank, dead bugs, and crunches, says Pritchard. 12. Using resistance bands to build muscle. Pritchard wants you to push past this warm-up. Swipe through Instagram, and you'll be inundated with images of men and women with strong-built bums using resistance bands, and you'll automatically think that is the way to develop your glutes. Resistance bands only activate your glutes. I love band work, but only for warm-ups. To truly build a bum, you need to weight train and lift fairly heavy, she tells us. 13. Using a wooden chopping board. Still have a wooden chopping board? Bin it. Wooden cutting boards are more difficult to disinfect, and sometimes they don't go in the dishwasher, says infectious disease expert Dr. Belinda Stewart Moonlight. It's strongly advised to have plastic cutting boards that are easy to clean and disinfect. 14. Refrigerating your avocados. Will Hawkins, registered nutritionist at Push Doctor, tells us this is a bad habit. Do not refrigerate your avocados, he says, at least not initially. Once picked from the tree, avocados, much like bananas, produce ethylene, which triggers the ripening process. The optimal temperature for this is 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius. Fresh picked avocados should ripen under these conditions within 3 to 6 days. When ripe, the avocado should yield gently to pressure, but not be squishy. 15. Sticking with your default Wi-Fi settings. Matt Powell, editor at Broadband Genie, states that a common mistake with home broadband is trusting the default settings of our Wi-Fi routers. Many of us get a free router from our internet provider, plug it in, and never think about it again unless something goes wrong. But they often come with insecure default passwords, and if not maintained, can be left vulnerable to hackers and viruses. Our own internal research found 51% of people hadn't taken any steps to deal with this, with most unaware of the issues that could arise. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go.